Joe Leone is the ambassador to Eurasian and Western Balkans division of the Foreign Ministry. He's sitting in Moldova, and he is spearheading the effort to bring the Ukrainian refugees to Israel. Briefly describe to me what you're seeing on the ground. Who are these people, and how are you vetting them?
Okay, so we have to separate now into the phases. The first phase, the 2 first weeks of the war, and the 2 weeks, I would say the 2 last weeks. In the 2 first weeks, we had a flow of refugees coming. Here in Moldova, with almost 3 million inhabitants, 350,000 refugees entered the country, 150,000 stayed here. So there was really a crisis. You had to find tents for them. You had to find food for them. Because try to understand, a person stays at home. There is an alert. They're going to the shelter in slippers, with the children in slippers and pajamas, and then they have to leave. And they're coming in. It was snowing the first weeks. They are coming in with nothing, only with the pajamas and the slippers.
And probably frostbite. It's freezing.
We had to help them, and we were not vetting who is coming in. We were there. There were all the volunteers from United Hatzalah and volunteers from Magen David Adom. We were the first one here at the border. They saw us. They saw the orange guys. They said the guys from the United Hatzalah. The Magen David was working with the Red Cross, but the orange guys were there, and they were helping the people. I played football with children there at the border, and waiting to have them coming in. We brought them. We bought, the state of Israel. We bought some. Not blankets, because if you bring blankets and it is raining and snowing, the person is wet. We bought this kind of aluminium blankets, the ones that are warming up when you have someone. So we bought panchos, plastic panchos that you can throw away afterwards. We bought also SIM cards, so they were welcomed to Moldova by Israelis. It's our uniform, you see, with the Israeli flag and so on. They saw us. They got a SIM card where it was written with love from Israel, and we helped everyone.
Explain to me
the second phase. They came to Kishinev. Now in Kishinev, they have to choose. Most of the refugees were staying in Moldova in order to see where they are going. The only open border was Romania. Now, from Romania, they can go everywhere. The point is what to do with Israelis without papers, with Jewish people wanting to come to Israel. When I say Jewish people, it's also people with the right of return. And what to do, how to do it. You have 3,000 people here. How to do it quickly. So we had 2 ways. For elderly people, for people with small children, we want them to go through the normal process of Aliyah, to be checked, to stay 1 or 2 days more, to have all the documents checked. And then the moment that they are arriving to Israel, they get the Israeli Teudat Zehut, the Israeli identity card. They get all the rights of the health insurance and so on, and they are taken in charge by the Ministry of Absorption.
Many of these people are coming without documentation. Can you explain how you vet?
No, they're coming with documentation, believe me.
But how do they prove who they are? How are they proving who they are?
They're coming with documentation. That's the only thing that they bring. How do
you prove they are Jewish if you're trying to take them into Israel? And how many people are you allowing in at this moment that are not Jewish?
Look, the point is, first of all, anyone who has somebody in Israel, not only family, but somebody who is inviting him to come to Israel can come to Israel. There was a quota of 5,000 refugees without any connection to Israel, without anyone inviting them, or without family and so on. We are checking the documents. These people, after 70 years, they know that the only way that they have to prove that they have any connection to Judaism is through documents. So they took it with them. In most of the, I haven't seen a case where a person was without a document. Yes, maybe the document, maybe the passport was not valid anymore. Maybe there was the document was very old, but we are there. Everyone came with documents, even with the vaccinations of the dog. So that's the thing that they took with them. As I say, they're coming in slippers, but with the documents. So we have the documents, checking the documents. The other thing is where we are almost sure that they are eligible to make Aliyah, it's the go, no go process. Looking at them in 10 minutes, I mean, okay, half an hour of questioning, and then in 10 minutes, they have the flight ticket to Israel. So they're arriving with the bus from Ukraine through the border to Kishinev. They are coming out of the bus, getting something hot to drink, and then they are going through, if they want to go to Israel, they are going to the people sitting there, being questioned, and getting the go, no go. The flights, every day there is a flight, there was every day a flight of the Christian Fellowship, the Keren HaYedidut of Rabbi Eckstein. Every day a flight. Now there are less flights because there are less refugees coming in. The flow of refugees almost stopped, but still we have some 100, 150 people who think that they are eligible to come to Israel. So there will be one day yes and one day no a flight.
Why did they stop? Why do you feel the flow has stopped?
It's connected to the military actions there. Nobody knows what will happen if there will be a renewal of the hostilities. I mean, it seems that it is stopped. We don't know. We don't know. I really don't have a clue what's happening there. But we see people. I mean, what we are doing also is a lot of humanitarian aid. I talked about the small things that we have done. We just gave also 1 ton of dry food to an evangelical pastor who is cooking food at the border. The moment that the person enters Moldova, is here with a hot soup. And the guy saw us again with Israel and asked, he said, I have a lot of Jewish people coming in. Maybe you give me something kosher. So we say, okay, we give you rice and pasta and 1 ton of dry food. We made the humanitarian action actually Saturday night. It was ended. We brought from Mykolaiv 2 Israeli citizens, a father and a son. The son came there in order to help his father, who is in nursing condition, and the father fell and broke the pelvis. So he couldn't move. He was on the mattress, on the kind of orthopedic mattress. Now, how to take them out? He found a friend who had an old Fiat. They took out the seats and they brought him to the border. We managed to bring an ambulance, a Moldovan ambulance, to the Ukrainian side, and then they passed the guy in the Ukrainian ambulance. Then together with Zaka, Zaka is also working here. We did this part with Magen David Adom, and then with the Red Magen David, and then with Zaka they chartered a special medical flight to take this person to Israel. But not only this person, they took also 102 Holocaust survivor. She was a great lady, saying that she wants to be not a supervisor, a guard at the shop in Israel. She wants to work now in Israel as a guard in a shop because she knows that there is a lot of needs for this. So she was great, and also she was taken to Israel on Saturday night. So that's the kind of things that we are also doing, not only making the papers and trying to have, but a lot of humanitarian aid that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is doing here.
What's your greatest concern? Looking ahead, war is not over. Obviously, on a diplomatic level, political level, it's quite complicated for Israel. So what are your insights?
Right now, I don't have any concerns besides how to take as many people as fast as possible out of Moldova to Israel.
How many of them do you see speaking English, speaking Hebrew in the case of going to Israel? Do you see any?
Nobody. Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Nobody. I'm sorry. No, they don't know Hebrew. They don't. I mean, they didn't intend to come to Israel. The war made them come, makes them choose. I mean, but they still have the choice. A person can choose to go to Germany, go to Romania, and then from Romania to decide where he wants to go. I mean, nobody is forced to come to Israel. But let's say that the majority of the eligible people are coming to Israel.
Ambassador Joel Leon, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a lot of success with what you're doing on this humanitarian aid venture.
Thank you. I'm not doing it alone. I'm doing it with all the diplomats of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who are not only in Moldova, but at every border crossing between Ukraine and the Western world.
Thank you.